Underway in the championships. We're at half-time in the Batley Bulldogs against Halifax, and Batley ahead by 12 points to 6. But Halifax, with the slope in their favour here at Mount Pleasant, will fancy their chances of turning things around. But the Bulldogs have got to third in the table, showing real guts, consistency and great defence as well. And if any side can hold on to a lead in this playoff series, and you'd fancy the Batley Bulldogs to do it.
They've had an awful lot of desire over the past couple of years under Carl Harrison, who really has instilled an awful lot of confidence into them. Every player knows what job they have to do, and they need to turn up, they need to be focused, and it's going to be very interesting to see what words of wisdom were spoken at half-time by the coaches, because you look for a bit of determination, you look for a bit of guidance from your coaches coming out into the second half when so much is at stake.
Batley in possession, and here's Jason Walton.
Drop that, Jason. It's a real shame. He had a strong charge from the kickoff, coming in for his second of that set of 6. And whilst he's playing the ball, just catches the knee of a Halifax player.
Well, it's a chance to get some half-time news from Rod Studd on the sidelines. Rod?
Big news, Bill, too, because problems for Carl Harrison, because Paul Hanford, you saw him getting a blow to the head earlier on. Well, he's suffering from concussion, and Carl Harrison, fearful, he's off at the moment that he'll be gone for the night. By no means certain to return, so problems here for the Batley Bulldogs, and Harrison a little bit worried about the way his team lost their discipline towards the end of that first half too, and calling for them to tighten up in that area. As far as Damien Ball and Halifax concerned, well, pretty happy to only be 6 points behind, calling for his team to make sure they slow the play the ball down for Batley, and he believes they've got the momentum, Bill, and they've certainly got it down the slope at the moment.
They're in possession as Bezic sends a long pass out, which evades Ben Black, but is picked up by Danny Jones. So that is a real problem for the Bulldogs with Paul Hanford out of action. He created so much in that first half, notably the opening Bulldogs try. Here's Michaeli Azu now.
And what he will do, Bill, is he'll look after the kicking game going up the hill, and a lot falls on Paul Mennell's shoulders now.
Here's Ben Black. Black stabs a little grubber kick in. Goddard is chasing, couldn't quite get there. Retty did enough.
Well, it's a game of inches, rugby league, and John Goddard, he follows up Ben Black's kick, and he just can't take that ball in. But there's danger signs for Carl Harrison now. The way that they've started this second half, a good run from Campbell. He knows they've got to be strong down this end of the park.
You're surrendered. Go. Campbell plays the ball. Here's Adam Robinson. Should be fit for the duration of the game. Robinson, a fitness instructor and nutritionist by day, as he plays the ball. It's a good run from Flanagan up to the halfway line.
Does that a lot. Flanagan has a look, challenges the marker, and then if they don't work, he goes and runs, and Wayne Retty with a strong charge.
Yes, and Retty gets away from White. White has to come back for a second attempt, assisted by Haley. And then Retty has knocked the ball on at the play the ball. Referee calls them back. Scrum feed for Halifax.
Well, they've made a couple of mistakes, getting up just simple drops. You can see again a knee from Retty, but he had no control of that ball. And that'll be disappointing for his coach, and there's Paul Hanford. If he doesn't make this second half, that will be a huge loss for his side. When you need a bit of guidance, when the pressure's on, there's no better player than Paul Hanford.
No, you can't strike at it. You cannot strike at it.
And then they give the penalty away, Batley, so it goes from bad to worse.
Well, how many times do we see this? When you make a mistake, when you have the ball, and then you give a penalty away.
Well, I'm sure our older hookers will be doing absolute somersaults at that a hooker is not allowed to strike at a scrum.
And Michaeli Azu could make him pay, because that was a storming run from the PNG International. Batley appealing that he'd lost control of the ball, but the referee said it was okay. Bannister. This time Azu's the dummy runner, and it's Bezic, and Bezic gives it some width to Ben Black, and then Black cuts back in field. Black tackled by Walton. Walton could have been penalised there for a second attempt. Here's Michaeli Azu now, and Buttery does well to get a hold of him and stop his progress. but Halifax looking to strike early on in the second half here, and Bannister is over. Has he got it down? I don't think he has. Neither does the referee, and he'll take him back.
Well, that's good try-line defence yet again from Batley. The short ball to Bannister. Buttery, he clamps hold of that ball, and then you can see the numbers from Flanagan and also Robinson coming in to deny Bannister the try.
On the last then, as Bezic ships it on to Black. Black running across the field, finds Haley, and they're just going to come to a dead end here with this set of 6 Halifax, and that'll be disappointing, surely.
There's them last tackle options I talked about at half-time, Bill. Ben Black has no inclination what he's going to do with that ball. He's just running, trying to see if something opens up for him, and Batley reply with, again, good work, going tight to the ruck and working hard. They're prepared to grind this game out, and Halifax just want to outscore everybody.
Tough place to win here at Mount Pleasant. Batley have won 7 and lost 3 of their home games in the championship. Only defeats here in the regular season were against Sheffield, Leigh and Featherstone. So the top 2 have won here, plus the Eagles. So it just shows what sort of job Halifax have got on their hands in the second half, but they are within sight of this Bulldog side at 12-6.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for either side. They know that they need to make sure that they control the football, not make silly mistakes when they get up and give possession away when they've got the ball. Michael Yezu, look at him getting his arm free. He's looking for someone to push up with him on his shoulder to offload that ball to.
That's it.
Warranty has been watched like a hawk by the Batley Bulldogs defenders. Here's Barlow strapping on the forehead now, and Warranty again. That's the 5th tackle. Penkovic bounces off Walton, puts a little chip kick in over the top. Oh, it's going to ricochet for Bannister. Priest couldn't deal with it. Has Bannister got it down, or did he bounce it?
I think there's a few things they're going to have a look at.
There's a problem with the grounding, check for possible.
And here's that risk that Halifax like to play with. And when it comes off, my word, it comes off. And it looks spectacular. Kick from Penkovic. Bannister is onside. Is there an obstruction? Well, it's on Penkovic anyway. But let's have a look at Bannister's grounding of the rugby ball. There's no problem.
He's got that down, surely.
Yeah, no problemo with that. Halifax, you feel sure will level this game up now, scoring the try in front of the sticks.
Right. Having a good game tonight, referee Clint Sherrod, and after consulting with video ref Ian Smith, gets the decision from the man in the van, and the try is awarded close to the posts. Bannister, the try scorer, but it was the kick from Penkovic that caused chaos in the Batley Bulldogs ranks. Virtually in front of the post, and Danny Jones should be able to level the scores here with this conversion. Jones. The Halifax fans now congregated behind those posts at the bottom of the slope here, enjoying that. Bannister try, Jones conversion, 12-12 the scoreline.
Well played for and got. Penkovic jumps out from dummy half, appeals for the penalty, but Stephen Bannister picks up the ball, plonks it down, and they're a dangerous side when they play this all-or-nothing style.
Interesting restart, and Campbell was on the same wavelength, has got it, and he's right down the middle of the field. To within about 8 metres of that try line, and then gets the penalty, I think. Or does he? Referee Clint Sherrod has whistled. He's called Campbell over.
It's a terrific take from Johnny Campbell.
I don't think it's Campbell who's in trouble. It's a Halifax player. It's Sam
Tackle is
Barlow.
complete. You put the forearm under his head. No need for that, okay?
So they'll get the penalty. Now it's bang in front of the post, so they just take the 2 and come back.
I don't think they will, Bill. I think they'll choose to keep hold of the ball for a spell and maybe make Halifax work hard from their own line.
Are you the captain? All right.
Surely they've got to go for 2 points.
For 2, guys.
They've listened to you, Tez. They're going to have a crack at nudging out in front again, all square. Good shot.
He didn't see Michael Yezu though, did he? And he gets up and he stands over him, Michael Yezu, saying, "Was that you with your forearm?"
Danny, on the line. Gotta be on the
So
line.
they've decided to go for the 2 points, and Paul Mennell, with Hanforth off the field, Mennell has the goal-kicking duties. He's kicked 1 all season. He's kicked 2 now. And he's put the Batley Bulldogs back in front, and Johnny Campbell came close to making it even more.
Well, this was a huge restart, and Johnny Campbell, look at the concentration. He gets the ball and he thinks he's going for the try line. He looks for the goose step, and Michael Yezu, he does that all the time. He comes from nowhere. Get that into you, lad.
He got off lightly then, Johnny Campbell, didn't he? But it was Barlow with the follow-up that conceded the penalty. Well, that was really imaginative, that restart from the Batley Bulldogs.
Well, that's the sign of a confident team, when you've conceded a try and you'll come up with a kick-off like that. When you know that if you don't come up with the ball, you're then defending in your own half. And Halifax, as I said earlier, you don't want to give them territory.
Well, Phil Clark's a big advocate of being inventive at the kick-off. Johnny Campbell was onside, chased hard, and put Batley in a position to get 2 more points, and that's the grind. That's what they're prepared to do, the Bulldogs.
Lindsay felt he was taken high in the tackle there by Clayton. Mennell gets the kick away, but it's straight into the... Jones, and then Jones to Warranty, and Warranty has put it down.
Well, I said in the first half, I'd seen the back three, Greenwood, White, Warranty, practicing linking up with one another. And Danny Jones wasn't quite part of that equation, but you have to say that's a poor mistake from a very experienced player. Rob Warranty having a look at who's chasing, who's coming up for the Batley Bulldogs.
How are you doing, guys?
So Halifax, having got themselves back on level terms, concede the penalty from the restarts and concede 2 points, and now concede possession deep in their own half and invite Batley back on the attack. And here is Robinson, runs into Barlow, and Barlow just stood there and stopped him.
Hold it, mate, hold it. That's it, go.
Now then, here's Lythe. Mennell pulling the strings this time with Hanforth off the field, a lot on the shoulders of Paul Mennell.
Ready, Sam.
Had his injury problems this season, has Mennell. There he is. Here's Jason Walton. Lythe, but Lythe picked out by Bannister with the tackle.
Well, that pass was flat as an ironboard.
Mennell's little grubber kick. This time Warranty's hands are working. He got a hold of that one.
Well, again, targeting the big winger, Rob Warranty. You could see that there was 3 Batley defenders chasing up for that. They definitely have up the ante in this second half. Both of these teams, they know what's at stake.
Oh, and Mennell went high on Warranty and then gave the officials a mouthful, which isn't always a good idea.
Do you know what? I'm not so sure there was anything wrong with this.
Just going to say that, Tez. Yeah, it's right across the chest. It's probably over the head. Does it just catch his chin or his jaw? Yeah. I mean, when you're tackling that high, you do put the referee in a position to make a call whether to penalise you or not. So a better tackling technique might serve Paul Mennell better.
Michael Yezu plays the ball. Sam Barlow, and Walton went looking for him. Barlow just wrestles him aside. Fiery character, Sam Barlow. Been fairly quiet so far this evening, but although as play continues, Barlow has just walked across to have a word with Jason Walton off the ball. Play does continue with Cherry home. 4 tackles gone, about 20 metres out now, Halifax from the Batley posts. Black trying to work his way through. Ben Black linked with a move away from Halifax. The end of the season, Swinton Lions on the menu. Here is Warranty. Warranty strolls in at the corner to put Halifax ahead for the first time this evening. And that was a walk-in, almost literally, for the prolific Halifax winger. Well, he put the ball down a moment ago, but smiling now.
Well, if Batley are going to go on and win this game or even compete with Halifax, they need to slow to play the ball down. Whenever Halifax are playing the game at the tempo that they desire, they're going to make defenders make impossible decisions. Johnny Campbell had a number of blue shirts in front of him. We'll just try and make out JP. I'm sure we'll get the story on that. Rod Studd might be on the ball.
So Rob Warrensey with try 25 for this season. And Jones from the sidelines looking to extend the lead, and he's on target. What a kick that is from Danny Jones. And Halifax 12-0 down at one stage this evening, now lead by 18 points to 14.
Well, Damien Ball will be happy with that play from Paul Smith.
Yeah,
He called the ball, he bossed that call on the right play, knowing that his winger, Rob Warrensey, had good shape. And you can see, look at that, the animation. He's sending down the messages, but he held good shape, Rob Warrensey, to score that try.
That's it, gentlemen.
This restart from Batley a bit more orthodox, but Warrensey is underneath it.
Keep on, Byron, you're on now.
Black. Fairbank now motoring onto that ball at some rate of knots.
Move, Byron! Hold it, mate, hold.
And
Go.
Batley, are they feeling the pressure here? That look forward to Barlow.
Play on.
Referees didn't see anything untoward in it.
3. Move! Don't get into that, Byron.
Here's Cherry home.
4. Release!
Penkovic fumbled with that.
For the last! Get up, Byron! Just get up,
On the
short.
40-metre line. And
Not
Black.
40.
Oh, and Campbell's put that one down. Knock on. He thought it went backwards, did the winger.
No, that was a dead set knock on.
Let it go, let it go.
I was going to make the point that although Halifax still playing the ball quicker, Batley were making them slow down just a touch.
So,
It's a simple catch,
it wasn't actually, but yeah, it's a valid
but
question.
always difficult when you've got chasers running towards you.
Whoa, we haven't even set, guys.
Carl Harrison has come down to the sidelines for the second half, and
Chris,
those
your
Batley
hand's gonna go
Bulldogs
up over
players
here.
can probably feel the icy glare
Forward him, Ben, forward him.
pouring into them because they haven't been at their best in this second half. They've surrendered the lead. They're now trailing.
One.
Well, as a Batley player, you won't get into a stirring competition with Carl Harrison.
Certainly wouldn't. Cherry home could get worse. Cherry home.
2. Move. Back
5
your ass
metres out. Halifax fans behind those posts urging their side on. Bezic stretches for that. Steps through. Bezic was looking for some support. Jones was there but couldn't get there in the right time. Penkovic goes on his own, has got that down, I think. He celebrates. The referee checks and awards the try, and Halifax are building momentum now. And Welsh international Sean Penkovic catching Batley cold there. His 16th try of the season. And Carl Harrison fuming on the sidelines at the way this game is slipping away from his side.
Well, Halifax are building momentum, building pressure. Here we see a wonderful kick. A simple catch dropped. But the key to this try is Sam Barlow, who's demanding a little bit of attention because he's starting to get under the skin of some of these Batley Bulldogs players. A lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, a lot of sledging, and that just plays right into the hands of smart rugby league players like Sean Penkovic, who will just use that foil, that dummy, and catch everybody unaware.
Jones 3 from 3. And on target again. 24-14. Halifax in 6th place in the table. Are they going to go through to the next round of the championship playoffs?
Well, he's such a dangerous player, Penkovic. And there was no communication there from Manning. He was looking at Barlow, what he was doing. You've got to make sure you look at the threat, and the threat is the ball.
Well, news from the sidelines with Rod.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures for Batley. 10 points behind, and look at that. Paul Hanford, who was suffering from concussion and looked like he was out of the game for the night, is warming up. And you'd have to say that Carl Harrison will be taking a risk, but what's there to lose now? There's no tomorrow for Batley if they lose this game, so it looks like Carl Harrison is going to chuck his ace in the pack back onto the pitch in Paul Hanford, Bill.
There is Tiger warming up, of course, instrumental in Batley taking that 12-0 lead, but was injured in the build-up to the first of those tries, I think it was, when he got a bang.
The very brave rugby league plays, very brave. Got a bad knock on the head, has to get up and fight for his side's corner.
Penkovic has gone for a 40-20, across comes Priest, and Priest will just cut it off in the nick of time. It was a great kick from Penkovic. Playoff Rugby League continues on Sky Sports next Thursday, when we will see the top two in action. First place Featherstone against second place Lee Centurions. That's at 7:30 next Thursday on Sky Sports 2.
Well, everything at the minute seems to be going Halifax's way as Retty comes up with a good break.
Now it's Retty against Jones, and Jones makes the tackle, and he had support from Danny Morn.
He's bombed a try. Danny Morn was on his left screaming for that ball.
Coming up to the hour mark, Campbell gets to his feet and plays the ball. Felt he should have had a penalty there. Here is Buttery now. Buttery, long ball out wide. Finds Daly Williams. Daly Williams flings it back inside, and they could be in here. They are with Manning, and Manning has got the try, or has he? It's another call for the video ref, says Clint Sharrod, the referee.
So Batley go from their left-hand side, bombing a try, shift it across. Chris Buttery puts in a pinpoint perfect pass. And let's have a look. Daly Williams with the ball in the wrong hand, just gets it back infield. Does Dane Manning get this ball in? Was there an obstruction? There's a few things going on. Dane Manning technically runs. Does he use Chris Buttery as a shield? That's possibly the thing that Ian Smith can be looking at. I've no problem with that, Bill. That ball's back.
Clint Sharrod gets the word from Ian Smith. The try is awarded, and Dane Manning has come up with the perfect response from the Batley Bulldogs, who are taking a bit of a battering. That'll please Carl Harrison. You wouldn't know it to look at him. 9th try of the campaign for the former Leeds man, Dane Manning.
Well, Dane Manning and the rest of the Batley Bulldogs know that this game is far from over. Their effort got the reward for that try. A line break from Wayne Retty. Didn't pass that ball. It come all the way over the other side of the pitch. And the right place at the right time for Dane Manning.
So Mennell with a difficult conversion attempt from the sidelines. He's just wide of the target. Not that far off from Paul Mennell, but Batley 18, Halifax 24.
Well, he misses that conversion, but if you give the ball to dangerous people like Wayne Retty, he makes a break out or nothing. And Danny Morn is screaming for that ball. His teammate doesn't give it him, but they ship the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. And they're so exciting. And again, players standing up, they know that they've got to, there's no tomorrow, and Dane Manning, good footwork to dive in at the corner to get Batley back into this game.
Just when it looked as though Halifax were really in control and could go on and win this one convincingly, Batley have hit back.
Well, you can't switch off against Batley because you know that they've got the players that'll hurt you, and you've got to play for the full 80 minutes, and that's a good run from Byron Smith. You've got to take the challenge to this Halifax side.
That was batted down by Goddard.
Yeah,
Goddard
touched that.
He's knocked it on, says the referee. Goddard wasn't going to hang around, kept going.
Wayne Retty and John Goddard just probably typifying the tension in the air tonight. Just touches it with his left hand, and it's a scrum down to Batley. Dane Manning can't ship it on. You just see Jason Walton free on the edge. That could have been another break, another potential try for the Bulldogs. The character in this side for Batley is really commendable. To look at Carl Harrison and what he instills into his players. He do not give up, not at any point.
And Halifax hoping, from what we hear, that he can instill that same sort of discipline and culture in their club when he takes over there. if he takes over there. Here is Byron Smith. These two hoping to get through to the grand final. Batley from third, Halifax, the reigning champions, back to the Halliwell Jones from sixth. Here's Jason Walton. Walton with a good break. He's looking for some support. He's got Buttery there. He's got Manning again.
That was an absolute brilliant line from Jason Walton.
And now it's the Bulldogs with the wind in their sails. Robinson. That's the fifth tackle. It needs to be a good kick from Mennell. They're running it. Priest is going on his own and will get there for his second of the night here, Priest. And Batley have come back. Carl Harrison.
Did he smile then, Paul?
I think that was a smile of satisfaction and approval from the Batley Bulldogs coach.
Holy moly.
Try number 8 of the season for Ian Priest.
Well, Batley Bulldogs tonight, tremendous work. And just look at how many players are offering themselves. And Ian Priest does this a lot, holds the ball in two hands, tries to ride contact and present the ball out the other end for an offload. He looks at Alex Bretherton there and decides, do you know what? I'm going to score myself.
Former Dewsbury Ram Ian Priest. Now Paul Mennell. Missed with his last kick at goal. That was the tricky conversion of Dane Manning's try, and this one isn't a gimme either. And he's hooked this one, I think. Mennell has missed. This could prove crucial. Hanforth off the field as yet.
Batley seems to be playing with a lot more width, and the pass from Live, then you can just see it's 3 passes to the other side of the pitch, and Priest, he gets his arms over, he looks to ride the tackle to set Bretherton free. But there was only going to be one winner there, and that was Ian Priest.
Well, what a seesaw contest we've had here. Halifax going 24-14 ahead. It's now 24-22 in favour of Halifax. It's golden point extra time if it's level at full time. And Halifax are no slouches at that, as we've already seen this season in the Northern Rail. We saw last season in the grand final. But it's Batley who look at the moment more capable of winning it in normal time.
Bill, they're full of confidence. They're kicking on the third tackle, they're backing themselves in defence, and look at the chase here.
And in the end, oh, Jones bundled over his own in dead ball line. Was furious about that, but it was the pressure he was under from Campbell that led to that situation.
I think he's got a point as Danny Jones. It's a great kick, superb work, and Danny Jones, he's going to tip it off the island, and Johnny Campbell.
It's boiling up here. Referee having a word with Sam Barlow, who wanted to take matters into his own hands after that. And referee Clint Sharrod just explaining to Danny Jones that he was a legitimate target.
Yeah.
But you can't get rattled now, can you? No matter what they throw at you.
It's the barrier that he goes into rather than the shove in the back. Yeah. Good commitment from both players, and Danny Jones has to do his job. Unfortunately, he hits that barrier. He's got to get on with the next set of 6.
Jones thumps that one downfield. Robinson. So can Batley capitalise in the way that Halifax did in the first half on these goal line dropouts?
Well, they need to make sure, Halifax, now that they defend this set of 6 and don't give a penalty away.
They need to keep their cool because there are 1 or 2 people just on the edge at the moment.
Doesn't look like Paul Hanforth is very well.
Here's Manning. 4 tackles gone. Can Halifax weather the storm here? Well, they will do, because Batley have put the ball down there, just over-enthusiastic.
Well, Wayne Retty, he was looking to get back inside. I think it was Ash Lindsay who gets out from dummy half. He tries to drag the defenders, and Bob Bezic, he was going for the wrong man, and there was a gap there for Wayne Retty, but he couldn't take that ball in. And you can see Buttery just apologising to his teammate Wayne Retty.
is Barlow, and Harrison went for him with a high shot, and Robinson it was who went for him with a high shot. Harrison probably would have been proud of it.
He's caught him there, I'll tell you. Sam Barlow doesn't stay down very often. He's still on all fours, Sam Barlow.
Yeah, I'm just going to... Ian, do you just check the score?
Just taking in the big ones. Looks a bit wobbly. Let's have a look.
All right. Yeah, no, just wait, see if he's okay, okay? We've got time out.
He says I'm all right. I'm not sure I believe him.
Just take your time, take your time. There's no rush on these things.
There is Adam Robinson, who made his mark on Sam Barlow with a high shot. Just caught him on the chin by the look of things.
No, I didn't that way, yes. Over here, mate, over here.
Although Barlow is limping.
Don't be surprised if he takes the next one hits up, as we nearly get hit with a ball. He was aiming for you then, Bill.
Michaele Azu.
Move! Back in, Chris. Stay square.
Watch for Barlow.
Here he goes. Almost looked up to see where Robinson was.
Move, Chris! And square!
It is, in the end, Lythe who makes the tackle. Bannister. 3 tackles gone.
That's 3.
Bezic. Here's Fairbank now. And Batley, having had that purple patch where they closed the gap, now back on their own try line. Little grubber kick comes in, and Bannister was looking for it. It was taken out of the field of play by Walton, and it'll be a goal line dropout by Batley.
Well, here's an interesting one. That kick goes in, hits the referee. If it doesn't touch the referee, does it have enough pace to go off the island, giving Batley the ball back? What do you think?
We shall never know.
No.
So Jones underneath that goal line dropout. Michaele Azu and Byron Smith stood his ground and was nearly moved all the way to Dewsbury. It's Michaele Azu who plays the ball. Barlow seems to be okay after that bang he took. Lovely hands. Jones underneath the posts. Is he held up? The ball's come loose. Fairbank has gone through on the follow-up. Check for the video ref, says Clint Sherrard. Just see how that ball came out.
I think he's just giving you your answer, Bill.
Well, he shakes his head, doesn't he, Danny Jones?
Yeah. It's a beautiful play, though. Dummy half, jumping out, giving a short pass. Then back on the inside, and let's have another look at this. Danny Jones, whilst trying to score it.
Does he get the ball? Here's one for you then, Barry. Does he get the ball knocked out of his hand?
No.
No try, scrum.
No hanging around from video ref Ian Smith there. No try is the decision. It'll be a scrum defence.
No,
Jones losing control of the ball.
Yeah, I think whilst he's trying to get it over, if he has a good purchase on that ball and the old thumb round the ball, if he has enough to take it away from his body and control it with that thumb, he scores that try.
Halifax holding on to a 24-22 lead here in this elimination playoff. Losers out.
Move, Michaele. Right here, Sean. Go.
Here's Byron Smith now.
I tell you, Bill, these are nervous times for both sets of players. You don't want to make a mistake when you know that after tonight, there's no tomorrow.
4. Release, Ryan. Go.
Here's Flanagan now.
5 and last. Move, Joe. Go.
Just inside his own half, plays the ball. That's the 5th tackle. A little chip kick over the top from Menel. Azu takes it, and the clatterer is clattered.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Even a smile as well. Ian Priest thinks, how did I do that? He puts Michaele Azu in the office. What about this? Follows up, bang, you're fired.
That doesn't happen often to Michaele Azu.
Move, Danny.
Wait, timing is everything. Here's Rob Warrency now. Warrency, so dangerous as the game goes on and players tire and gaps appear in defences. That's when Warrency can exploit. Ben Black, Fairbank, White from the other wing.
5 and last.
That's the 5th tackle as White gets to his feet and plays the ball. Scoot from Penkovic. Lovely hands. Fairbank! And Fairbank, has he got that ball down? Video ref decision
Well, check
again.
the grounding and whether it was short.
Great hands from this Halifax side. And Jacob Fairbank came thundering onto that pass, but did he reach the line?
Well, it's a fair effort from the youngster Fairbank, but he's short there.
But does momentum then take him over? Let's have another look at it. That's the initial contact. I think he's short, Tez.
Do you know about Halifax? They look very, very dangerous, targeting Batley now at the middle of the park. It's all little short plays.
It's the all or nothing philosophy again. That's last tackle, they're flinging it and throwing it everywhere. I don't think there's much to give that try, if anything.
Crowd hushed, still waiting for the decision from the video ref, Ian Smith.
Well, it looks short there.
Priest, really in the thick of it, Ian Priest. 2 tries tonight. He's put a big hit on Michele Azu, and now he might have denied Jacob Fairbank. Fairbank getting up, celebrating as though he's got there.
Right. No try.
But he hasn't.
Hand over. Hand over.
And it'll be the handover,
tackle,
just
hand
short, young Jacob Fairbank, 21 years of age.
Well, Batley must make sure they defend around the play of the ball early, because they're looking very loose. And Halifax looking to get the ball out wide and turning it back inside.
I know it was good play from Halifax, but I'm going to say again, the resilience of Batley. When they're in scramble, when they're in stress mode, everybody turning up, and they've given their absolute all tonight. Will they get the ultimate reward of a win and a place in the next round? We'll have to wait and see.
Widnes Sheffield, or Sheffield Widnes I should say, to come tomorrow night at Bramall Lane.
Move right. Here, Sean. Here, Sean.
And Lee Featherstone, or Featherstone Lee, to come next Thursday night. A game you can see live here on Sky Sports.
Here and hold. Go.
Here's Buttery now. Priest finds a Retty. Now Retty will take on White. Goes past the pair of them and is tackled on the halfway line eventually by Jones.
Well, that was a high-risk play from Batley, shifting the ball on their own line, still offloading.
Walton, that's the 5th tackle. Inside the last 10 minutes here at Mount Pleasant, and just 2 points in it as that kick goes up and Jones has dropped it. The stand-in fullback, Danny Jones, under pressure.
Well, Chris Buttery puts that ball up as high as he can and says, do your best, Danny Jones.
Well, there's no point in the Batley players flying in it. Danny Jones has made the mistake. They don't want to give a penalty away, and it's very tough ball this for Danny Jones. Ash Lindsay does a tremendous job, and you can see he doesn't look confident. His knees were wobbling, and Batley get the ball back here. It's a lonely place. They're back under those high balls.
No Miles Greenwood at fullback for Halifax with that rib injury sustained in the first half.
That situation. You could be in a lot more trouble than you are actually, okay? So go toe ahead.
Clint Sherrod has had a lot on his plate tonight. He's done a good job.
And I think he's having a word with Wayne Retty. 1 or 2 times when his teammates have been tackled, he's been pushing Halifax defenders off, trying to clear that ruck, and Clint Sherrod said, that's not your job, get on with what you're supposed to do. Good work from the referee.
Head and feed to the Batley Bulldogs. That knock-on from Jones has given them great field position. Clock stopped at the moment. Now it's back on, says the referee.
We'll keep going.
And can Batley Bulldogs get their noses back in front?
Move! One hole here. Wait.
Halifax clinging on at the moment. Bretherton plays the ball. Here is Byron Smith, the Welsh international. 3 tackles gone as Byron Smith plays the ball. Flanagan now. And now Halifax defending right on their own try line. Here is Buttery. Walton did well to take the pass because he had Halifax defenders right up in his face. He's lost the ball under pressure, and it was great defence. No wonder Bezic and Goddard celebrate, and a grimace from Carl Harrison.
Well, John Goddard, he gets underneath the ball and he just sticks his shoulder into Walton, and the ball's up there and he has no control whatsoever, and that's good defence from Bezic and Goddard.
See how much that meant to John Goddard and how disappointed Jason Walton is. And an opportunity goes begging for the Batley Bulldogs, and time running out for them, but only 2 points in it.
Well, the defence from both sides has been very, very good. They're both backing themselves in attack. Sean Penkovic, one player who is Halifax are going to be looking at, because he's just anticipating that quick play of the ball for a rolling dummy half run.
A place at Halliwell Jones Stadium on October the 2nd is what's at stake in the championship playoffs in the grand final, and that is a Kids Go Free Day, it should be pointed out. So one of these occasions where children under 16 accompanied by an adult paying the full rate will get in for free.
Release, 5 and last. Let it go.
That's the 5th tackle. Will it involve that grand final? Batley or Halifax? The kick ahead. White is chasing it. The referee says, hang on a minute, Bob Bezic has grounded that, but how? Let's have another look at this one. Was there a knock on there? White kicked it on.
The kicking game from Penkovic in his second half has caused an awful lot of problems. They're all onside.
In terms of accidental offside after the kick.
And there's a problem with that. And is it Smith who goes to kick this ball back in field? Sorry, it's Paul White. Well, I don't think there's a problem with that.
Well, Clint Sherrod's asking, is there an accidental offside at this point of the kick? In other words, is Bob Bezic in front of Paul White?
I don't believe he is.
I don't think he is either. I think that's a try.
Well, it's not the prettiest try that Bob Bezic will ever score, but it could be one that takes them through to the next round of the playoffs. The ball bouncing up for him after Paul White had hacked it on. They all count. Try number 7 of the season for Bob Bezic. Carl Harrison bemused by that one. How they let that one through their defence, he wonders. And Bezic has restored a 6-point advantage at the moment for this Halifax side. Damien Ball by day school teacher, keeping his calm. He knows all about unruly behaviour.
Just keep your cool, mate. Okay,
Danny Jones, time for him to compose himself, looking to maintain his 100% record so far this evening.
Well, Halifax at the minute have got 3 of the most dangerous players in the game. Ben Black, Sean Penkovic and Bob Bezic, and the latter 2 setting that try up. Bob Bezic, could that be the try that seals this game for Halifax?
Time out.
Well, you'd never rule out Batley. They've come back to within 2 points once this evening, but Jones has made it more difficult for them now with that conversion. 8 points the difference between these two sides now. Batley 22, Halifax 30.
The kicking game of Halifax has come to the fore in this second half, kicking down the hill, making the Batley players scratch and scramble on the floor, and it's a very difficult ball to deal with. And Ian Priest, the Batley fullback, can't do anything with it other than watch Bob Bezic bang it down.
They've gone for another short restart of Batley, and they've come up with it again.
Well, I'm sure it was Johnny Campbell again who leaped higher than the Halifax player and patted it back to Alex Bretherton.
Bretherton did well. He gathered that ball under pressure.
Them two have been having a real go at each other, Barlow and Byram. We might just see a bit of that in the last couple of minutes.
Bretherton. Hanforth, are they going to throw him back on? One last throw of the dice as Buttery is caught in possession, knocks the ball on, and Halifax have it back. Fairbank swoops.
Well, Carl Harrison now, he knows that he's trying to put his little general on, but I feel now with 4 minutes to go, Halifax have done enough, and they're not going to let this lead slip.
Here's Warrensey now, and Warrensey sniping, looking to burst through there.
Bill, that's the 23rd run from dummy half that Halifax have made, so Very obvious what they've wanted to do when they wanted to slow things down, calm things down. That's what they've done, picked up from dummy half and ran. And when they wanted to speed it up, they've run hard and played it quick.
Here's Paul Smith. So inside the last 5 minutes, and Halifax from 6th in the championship table. The reigning champions look like they're going through to the next round of the playoffs as Penkovic drifts that one into the corner. It's a good kick from the Halifax captain. He has led from the front this evening, Sean Penkovic.
He stepped up in this second half, and again he knows there's not long left. Just kick it into touch. Let the clock tick down. The referee Clint shouted, he stops. He holds the time up.
Carl Harrison's just looking on with a rude smile, a thoughtful expression, knowing his side has given absolutely everything tonight.
Here's Campbell. Campbell trying to go on the outside. It's going to be a desperate last attempt, but he's gone right on the outside. And Halifax celebrates. Johnny Campbell had to try it. They had to try everything now.
They have played with an awful lot of emotion. And in this second half, they've torn into the opposition. And the defence from Black and Warranty, Campbell nowhere to go.
Well, did Rob Warranty have hold of that ball when the ball went out of play?
How ironic is this? Carl Harrison, the next Halifax coach, from what we understand, watching his current side being eliminated from the championship playoffs by Halifax. And a Halifax side showing the sort of commitment that he looks for in a side.
Well, they're all out to impress the new boss tonight.
Penkovic, Bezic. Bezic, Halifax looking for the try that would put the icing on the cake for them, but for the first time tonight, Penkovic blocks his copybook and fumbles the ball, knock on, head and feet to Batley, but right at the wrong end of the field.
Well, this is his first mistake, Sean Penkovic. And he knows himself, he puts his hands up, says to a teammate, help me out here, lads. We need to finish this game off very strongly and send out a message to either Sheffield or Widnes.
And Halifax stay alive in the playoffs, and Lee and Featherstone might be a little bit uneasy about that, because Halifax, the only side who have beaten both those sides this season. They might have finished 6th in the table. That really by virtue of their appalling start to the season when they lost 7 of their opening 8 league games. You know, they were joint bottom of the table in late May, were Halifax. But here they are now, through to the next round of the playoffs. Hanford has been a big miss, no doubt about that. Barlow has got that ball back for Halifax. And they all want a bit of Sam Barlow.
Well, look at George Flanagan standing over the top of him.
It's a 15-man tackle, that then. Sam Barlow getting a bit of attention, he demands it. Physical presence of him. There's been a couple of injuries. Miles Greenwood, Halifax had to reshuffle and cope with that injury, but yet Paul Hanforth, Tiger Hanforth, the master decision maker, has been a bad miss for Batley.
Oh, Black taken high there. And Barlow involved again. Robinson and Barlow going at it.
Back away.
I think it's Flanagan, I beg your pardon.
Back away.
George Flanagan involved.
All right.
There's a mismatch there somewhere. George Flanagan and Sam Barlow.
Tell you what, for a fiery character, Sam Barlow has kept himself under control. It was Black who was taken high by Lindsay.
Well, Ash Lindsay, it was a grabber. It was George Flanagan. You can see he cocked his right arm, but he was standing over the top of Barlow earlier on.
Don't need for that. Ash, yeah, right here, mate. Yeah, I know it was high. There's nothing sinister. I don't believe.
Lindsay will be penalised. And Halifax, no doubt, will go for 2 points.
George, I don't need you coming in, George. Yeah, but guys, apparently
Barlow, in fact, is being taken off the field for the last few seconds of this game to avoid any further trouble.
Well, very sensible. Damien Ball knows that he's been commanding a lot of attention. He gets the appreciation from his teammates. Sometimes players like that, everybody else is that intent with trying to clean the clocks that they forget about the job that's at hand.
Saw Stephen Bannister in the stand there. Was the suggestion that he went into the game with an injury.
You've got the 10 there.
He's done well to get through that, got on the score sheet as well. Jim Gannon will be looking forward to a playoff game now. Feared that this might be his last for the club after his suspension. But he'll be available for the next one. Jones will put the cherry on the cake for Halifax. And the champions are still in the race for another grand final appearance. A third in a row, could it be? Long way to go yet for Halifax, but they've sent out a warning. They're all smiles, as are the Halifax supporters. And the side who had a miserable start to the season, who some might think were lucky to get 6 after Barrow Raiders were docked those points, well, they are still in the hunt. Sean Penkovic, their captain, man of the match, he's with Rod.
Sean, well done, man of the match. There's a bottle of champagne to celebrate tonight. Listen, that was a brutal, at times bad-tempered battle. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, it's one of those games. It's a one-off, isn't it? So it's always going to be tough, but I'm glad all the thing what matters now is coming away with the win, and that's what we have done.
I think a lot of people have written you off finishing 6th after winning it last year, but you're still in there fighting.
That's what I mean. It's 1 day and 2 to go to get to the final, and as we said, we're used to this playoff football, and this is what brings the best out of us.
It's going to be Sheffield or Widnes next. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, no, they're both good sides, so we'll just take anyone away.
Well done tonight. Well done, Sean. Let's get Damien Ball in. Damien, I think that's 5 wins out of 6 for you as a Halifax caretaker coach. So, I mean, you know, you're still in it. I mean, you can do it here against all the odds here for Halifax.
Yeah, I thought we made hard work of it at times again as well today. You know, suspect forward pass there for the try on the right edge, but you know, they've worked really hard, and that's what it's about. Okay. Week in, week out, working really hard. It's a difficult time of the season now. Just got to keep our head down and work hard, yeah. Yeah,
they've beaten you 3 times this season. In fact, that's the only defeat you've had was against Batley, you personally. Have you managed to turn around that form from the other 3 games, Damien?
Oh, well, we've done a lot of analysis, but these mob have a habit of winning when it counts, you know, and we knew we had to match Batley's enthusiasm. They're a quality team, but at the end of the day, you know, they've done absolutely awesome tonight, and to get a win here, you know, against all the odds is absolutely tremendous.
Look, you're still on the road to Warrington. Well done, Damien.
Thanks a lot, Rod. Cheers, mate.
Back to the day job tomorrow for Damien Ball, but satisfactory evening for Sam Barlow and the Halifax side, and season comes to an end for this Batley Bulldog side, and how they miss Paul Hanforth there, just shaking hands with his coach, Carl Harrison, and Carl Harrison, well, could well be the next man in charge of Halifax, but there's work to do before then. They're still in these playoffs. They've won here 32-22, having been 12-0 down at one point. 2 big Super League games to come this weekend now. What a build-up that is for those games. Hull FC against Warrington. Warrington can clinch top spot. 7:30 HD2 on Friday evening. Last round of the regular season in Super League 16. And then a playoff for the playoffs. Hull Kingston Rovers against the Castleford Tigers, 5:30 on Saturday on HD2. And coming up next here on Sky Sports, it's Super League Supermen. Brian Carney's guest this week is Sam Tompkins. That comes up next after a special evening at Mount Pleasant. Special, that is, for Halifax, who are looking for a 3rd successive grand final, and they've taken 1 step closer to it. Good night.
Watch all 5 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online with Sky Go.